And this is why it takes so long to do these fiberglass kind of work. Actual doing the work doesn't take that long. But you know, you gotta, in this case, I gotta build the mount. It needs to be epoxied together, screwed, epoxied, all that, and then you gotta pull the screws out, finish it all off. But you know, after that, you gotta wait till the next day till you can do that. So here it is the next day. I've cut all the scrap off it, rounded it all off, got it like something. Today I cut the boat out. Now it's fiberglassed into the boat. But guess what? Can't do nothing now. Wait till tomorrow. I covered it up last night. I got done right before dark, and it was a dewy, cool night. So I threw a piece of plastic over it, a towel. Certainly everything dried. Here's our peel ply. Peels off just like it's supposed to. Okay. That's pretty nice. See how nice that stays in here with that peel ply? I got no runs coming out of it. I didn't get my corners just right, but you know, sanding's always required. I'll sand them corners off. But real nice back here, just a couple little air bubbles, and obviously we're gonna go over top of all this now. But that's not going anywhere. Okay, where are we at now? Well, we're all sanded off, taped off. We got the, what do we got here? Our vinyl ester rosin, and I've mixed it with our silica dust here. Silica thickener, and I've thickened it like, you know, the thickness of like peanut butter, like I would do. Well, basically, I am doing like we would do fillets on a wood boat or whatnot. I'm going to do fillets here, fillets. However you want to say it. I think they call it fillets when you're doing a boat. But on these edges, it's kind of a sharp edge there, even though all the rosin's in there nice. And we're going to put that in here rounded. I use a rounded wood mixing stick for this. What do I do? Put it in my pocket? I did. I could have left it right there. Right there. And I'll just run that in them corners. And that'll make a real nice edge right around there. So when you go to glass over this, it's glass and it lays down just beautiful. You don't have no sharp edges. Stay away from sharp edges. Let's get it done. Get it all in here, and then we'll just come back and run the end on there and get it all round looking. This isn't for strength. This is just for looks. It's going to look good, and it's going to make our fiberglass cloth lay out very nice. There it is, all the way around now. And underneath, that was a little tricky. So that's all fletted in. You gotta let that dry. A little light sanding. Actually, at this point, I could, I'll let it dry, I'll get some light sanding, but a lot of times, even now, if you're careful, you can put your cloth right over top of this and roll it in. When we do our cloth though, we don't want them sharp edges, so we're not going to cut our cloth to fit. We're going to tear those edges so it all blends in real nice. I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to sand off the little, there's always little rough edges, sand the rough, and then I'm going to do the cloth at a separate time. So, you know, walk away. Got to let all this dry. We're approaching the finish line on our trolling motor mount. Oh, everything's faired in, filleted in, sanded down, taped off again. We've got our pieces of CSM torn, and we're going to start laying them in. I've taped it off where I don't want to go, but we're not just going to try not to go all the way out to the tape because we don't want sharp edges, but we can sand that if we have to, because this is going to be gel coated when we're done. But as you can see, that's all one part of the boat now. So here we go. We're going to lay our matting over this, and it should lay out nice. I got a little roller. By God, we'll be fishing before long. Okay, we've got everything on hand here. We've got our bubble roller or fin roller, and this is a smaller one for getting up in them tight corners. It's important to get all that air out. We've got our mix of vinyl ester rosin. I've got a bucket with a lacquer thinner in here to keep my fin roller clean as I go. Everything's taped off. We got all our pieces torn to put on here. Let's get after it. First thing we're going to do is wet our wood down. It'll soak up a good amount of rosin right out the gate. If you don't get it wet out good, it'll draw the resin out of the fiberglass cloth, and want it here the way it should. You won't be happy. Got all the air bubbles out of it, got it laid down all the way around. Nice and flat. Well, if that dry, we'll come back and sand it, get all the little pokies off it. I call little pokies, little fiberglass fibers here and there that just stick up in the air. And then it's gel coat. And we'll just do a quick spatter job to make it match. We'll have to sand a little bit up underneath here. You can see what I do on this paper here. Catch any drips that might come down. I put a cardboard down there too. No matter how careful you are, there's always drips. All right, it's looking good. Almost done. Got a little brush in my pocket. We're just gonna roll this on here. Get a good coating. I had a pretty close match, I think. It's a little challenging getting them matches, but especially on a small job. When we do this whole boat, we're gonna tint up a whole gallon. Probably won't take that much, but that's how much we're going to tint. Because you don't want to have to come back and try to match it. And then if I ever got to patch anything on down the line, It won't be hard. It'll be there in the jug waiting for me. Look at that. I decided to roll this instead of brush it. This way I get to waste more gel coat. The brushing will leave the brush strokes for sure. It'll show them. I'd just rather have it a smoother look. That way it'll match the rest of the boat. If you're ever going to try this, you have to have such a little bit of gel coat in your brush, you don't think it's going to come out. If you put more than that in there, you'll get big globs. We're going to leave it at that. It's pretty good. Not bad for the old flicking the paintbrush method. All right. It's going to dry overnight till tomorrow. And now we have a finished product. Rubber rail installed. Trolling motor base. Now we can get to installing the trolling motor. Down in there. Got to build a shelf for the battery to do the wiring. That's the easy stuff. Thanks for joining me on this build.